Your voice is a part of the purpose. Don't silence it to keep the peace. Welcome in, my butterflies. Today, we have a beautiful and empowering message. We start this reading off with the energy of the Empress. The Empress energy is here today, my butterflies, and this is current energy. So, this Empress energy is reminding us that we are naturally abundant. We are creative. We are nurturing and we are worthy. You see, the Empress energy, she's like the type of energy that doesn't chase her value. She's not, out there trying to people please. She's not overdoing, overextending herself. She understands that her worth. She understands what everything that she has to offer, it comes back to her through her nurturing energy. So the value that she has, that she holds, she embodies it, my butterflies. She knows who she is. And she's not the type of person that's going to seek validation from anyone else outside of herself. Whether you are masculine or feminine, this is still the energy of you knowing your worth. You standing in your power. You standing in your integrity. And knowing and trusting that what you give out, you get back in abundance. And to clarify this energy, we have the card Lost Identity. This energy says you were never meant to trade your voice, your passions, or your power just to keep someone by your side. Now, with this energy, I feel like Spirit is asking us to examine where we may have silenced ourselves, to look at those areas where we may have abandoned our passions, or where we may have compromised our values just to remain in relationships, to keep the peace or to gain some type of acceptance from others. So this energy today, my butterflies, I feel like it's asking us a deep question. And that question is, have you been shrinking yourself to fit into places that you are meant to outgrow? Because the overall energy is the Hierophant. The Hierophant energy, this is all about tradition, conformity. This is the energy, of divine wisdom. It's all about teaching and education. So this Hierophant energy being here and being the overall truth, the hidden truth that we may not realize is happening behind the scenes, is reminding us, this energy is here to remind us that what's happening behind the scenes is that healing often requires us to return to our core values. It often asks us to reconnect with our authentic self, my butterflies. Now, always remember that these energies don't always resonate. So if you don't resonate with these energies, my butterflies, leave them here. But if you do, please support the channel. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Now, this card is encouraging us to tap into that wisdom that we have, that integrity, to start living according to what truly aligns us with our spirit. And not simply following, those old behavior patterns, things that we've learned in our environments, those old traditions or conditioning, or those expectations that may be too high for us to reach, or those expectations that others have put onto us. Because we were never meant to abandon ourselves to keep someone else comfortable. The healthiest relationships that we can have is those relationships where we are allowed to become more of ourselves and not less. And healing, sometimes my collective, it means that we start to remember who we were before fear, who we were before we experienced rejection, who we were before people pleasing became along and convinced us that we had to become someone else. Now I understand, and this is probably the hardest part of this journey, is that authenticity, sometimes it may cost us those relationships that no longer serve us. But through it, it will strengthen our relationship with ourselves. So the Empress is here, my butterflies, to remind us that our worth is inherent. It isn't something that we have to earn through sacrifice. The Hierophant is encouraging us to build a life on truth instead of approval, and to stop asking ourselves who we need to, who everyone else needs us to be, and more ask ourselves more often, who am I becoming? Our passions were given to us for a reason, my butterflies. So we don't need to bury them to make anyone else outside of us comfortable. Returning to ourselves, returning to our core, stepping into the energy of authenticity. That is one of the most powerful forms of healing that we can embrace. My collective, I want to leave us all with an affirmation, something that we can use to make sure we stay in that energy where we never feel like we have to trade our identity for someone else's temporary acceptance. Something that we can always use to honor ourselves. And through that honor, we teach others how to honor themselves as well, and how to honor us. And this affirmation is going to be, I no longer abandon myself for acceptance. My butterflies, today, this metamorphosis moment, this moment of intention that we have, it's all about us remembering who we were. And remembering that who we were was never meant to lose ourselves while try to hold on to other people, other circumstances, other environments. The more we embrace our authentic self, the more aligned with the life that we truly desire, the more aligned with that we become. So we don't have to be somebody else different to be worthy. We simply just have to give ourselves permission to be exactly who we are. And that's enough. And that's okay. Love you, and you teach others how to love you too. Until next time, my butterflies, always remember that it's an honor and a privilege to be here, because my healing is your healing and your healing is mine. So let's transform together. Welcome to your metamorphosis, butterflies. And until next time, you all have a blessed, loved, and safe rest of your day.